The Dallas Cowboys lead this series 48-31. Dallas has played the Eagles more than any other franchise. But Philadelphia has not swept. They won the first game of this series. It's been since 1990 that they swept.
You know, and doesn't it seem like over the years that the toughest battles have been here in Philadelphia, that the Eagles have always really come on blitzes and really been tough against the Cowboys here?
Well, this is just a tough atmosphere, tough field to play on. The surroundings are tough. It's a tough place to play.
Yeah, you remember that, you know, the games that Bobby Taylor had here against Michael Irvin. You remember that fourth down play when Barry Switzer was the coach? And
well, they went for it twice.
Yeah, there's a lot of great memories here when you think of the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys.
David Akers set to kick off for Philadelphia. Jason Tucker's back deep for Dallas. Akers set to get us underway.
Remember how they started off in the opening kickoff? Now they're going to have a holder.
Yep. Once it blows off the tee twice.
This is kind of the way things usually start off in Philadelphia. But remember, down in Dallas, the first game they played,
the onside kick.
Right? They started off the opening kick with an onside kick.
That's Tim Houck, who's holding for the Eagles, and for David Akers.
Tim Houck is usually one of the first guys down there in coverage, too.
He's a remarkable player.
This will not be an onside kick.
Akers straight away, and Tucker 2 yards deep in the end zone is going to bring it out. Jason Tucker down, and a flag on the play.
And you see who made the tackle?
Tim Houck.
That was Tim Houck, the guy that did the holding. I said he's usually the first guy down there. Isn't it funny how some of those tough guys can just find their way to the ball?
Mike Carey is the referee. Number 94 right there. And there's a flag against Dallas.
Holding by the return team, number 93. 10-yard penalty. They retain possession. First down.
Holding by Pepe Zellner.
You're going to see it right down here at the bottom of the screen. There's Zellner right there. He comes in and just got his left arm around the guy.
Not much doubt about it. So the Cowboys start in a deep hole to begin with at their own 11-yard line with Randall Cunningham as their quarterback. I'd say he was received with a mixture of cheers and boos. He played 11 years here.
I would say that there were more cheers there than there were boos, though.
I think you're right. Emmitt Smith is deep. Jackie Harris on the move.
I think that's going to go against the Cowboys.
I think Eric Williams was on the move as well.
He looked like he was the first guy to move, but he was clapping, so I don't know what the heck he was clapping about.
Before the snap, well start. Offense number 79. Half the distance to the goal. Remains first down.
Here's the Cowboy offensive line. They are big. Lozelle Adams, Larry Allen, Solomon Page, Eric Williams, Mark Stepnoski in the middle, the runners and the receivers. First and 15. Back to Emmitt Smith. Emmitt out to about the 10. Here's the Eagles defense. As John Madden said, they'll be blitzing a lot. Douglas, Thomas, Simon, and Whiting. Hugh Douglas having a great year. The three linebackers, Barry Gardner, Trotter in the middle, who intercepted Aikman and scored a touchdown in the opening game. Taylor and Vincent, the two cornerbacks, Brian Dawkins and Damon Moore, the safety men. Good secondary.
And here's Hugh Douglas here now, who has more sacks than the entire Cowboy defense.
Emmitt Smith again. Hammers out to about the 14.
I think what the Cowboys are going to do right now is just try and get off to just a good solid start. You see this, I was just talking about Hugh Douglas. Look at that, he has 12 sacks. He's leading, he and Leroy Glover from New Orleans Saints. But look at the Dallas Cowboy as a team, they only have 10.
So Hugh Douglas, as you said, has 2 more than the entire Dallas defense. No blitz, 3-man rush, Cunningham. Drops it up the middle. Jackie Harris makes the catch as a flag on this play. Harris had enough for a first down. Hands to the base.
I'm impressed with Randall Cunningham, the way he's staying calm in this, because this is a tough thing for him. I mean, starting, coming back here to Philadelphia, and he has a little extra adrenaline, getting off to a bad start with penalties and so on here, but he's staying calm.
Offense number 76.
Well, he was saying that the first 9 years he spent here were pleasant years.
Well, there's Flozell Adams, the left tackle, and you see he's blocking Hugh Douglas there. He really doesn't have his hand to his face when he started, but he took it off his left shoulder and put it to his face. And at the end, Derek Williams they're kind of going after Hugh Douglas. I think they heard about that, having more sacks in their entire team.
So they're back at the 7. It's 3rd and 14.
The Eagles love to blitz, and here they come.
Cunningham got away from the first wave of blitzers, but doesn't get anywhere past the line of scrimmage.
I tell you, their defensive coordinator, Jim Johnson, just loves it. And he's going to bring his blitzes. He'll bring them anywhere. He'll bring them on your end of the field, on their end of the field, and he just gets an overload on one side, comes up with a free guy. Randall Cunningham sees it, knows that he's not going to get rid of it, but the thing that he can do, he can still run a little, picked up a few yards to get better position for this punt play.
Micah Noor back to punt for Dallas, standing back at the back of the end zone. The Eagles will get good field position out of this. Not his best kick by any means. Brian Mitchell says stay away from it, and the Eagles start off in good shape at the Dallas 46. So we'll have a look at the Eagle offensive setup. Donovan McNabb is the quarterback. He said that Randall Cunningham, when he was growing up, was his idol, and he opened a lot of doors for a lot of young quarterbacks. There's the Eagle offensive line. Trey Thomas, John Runyon, the tackles in the secondary. Darnell Autry gets the start with Cecil Martin. And Donovan McNabb, who has 11 touchdown passes, 4th in the NFC.
This is one thing you know about Mitchell as you watch it. Anytime he's involved after a play, there's always going to be something.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan Mitchell was that way ever since he's been in the league. At the end of the play, the whistle blows, and then he goes for about another minute and a half.
Mitchell and Darren Hambrick in a shoving match. McNabb. First down to Autry, who started last week but didn't get a carry. The Cowboy defense. Greg Ellis, Brandon Noble in place of Chad Hennings, who might be out for the rest of the year. Leon Lett and Alonzo Spellman, the 3 linebackers. Wortham in the middle instead of Datwin, Coakley and Hambrick. In the secondary, Ryan McNeil and Felipe Sparks, with Teague and Woodson the safety.
Empty backfield.
McNabb throws high to Amp Lee. Incomplete. The key injuries in today's game and this time of year, their numbers increase. Aikman, Galloway, Chad Hennings, Datwin, and for the Eagles,
Deuce Staley,
their running attack.
Yeah, we remember the last time he played against the Cowboys, rushed for over 200 yards. And remember in that game, and one of the things I always felt Deuce Staley could do, and he did it in that game, is just take it over. Say, okay, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to run the ball and stop it.
McNabb dumps it out to Mitchell. Cecil Martin, beg your pardon. Mitchell was the other running back. And Cecil Martin gets the first down at the Dallas 31.
Yeah, this is the thing that's really getting the Cowboys in trouble, is they used to be an aggressive defense with their safeties, and they started now, I think it's because of the corners. We're always trying to protect the corners, but they're taking their safeties, Teague and Woodson, and playing them deep in that cover 2. Now that keeps them out of any of this short stuff. So the place to attack this is short and in the middle. That's a place that Jacksonville got them last week, and that's a place that the Eagles get their first down today.
Jacksonville did it with the tight end. That time was the running back. Here's Mitchell. The option pass overthrown, intended for Chad Lewis, and he was there. It was there.
And Mitchell knew it, too. He saw Chad Lewis all the way. Anytime Brian Mitchell is in there, you know that he was a college quarterback, and the last time they played, Mitchell threw a run pass against him. Mitchell usually throws a run pass in every game, and they had great field position for it. Chad Lewis is wide open. Andy Reid calls a great play, and Brian Williams heaves it over his head.
Hamp Lee in the Eagle backfield. Cowboys showing blitz, and here they come. That's Hamp Lee. We spoke with Darren Woodson about the downside of what he does, lead the team in tackles.
You know, our team used to be set up for our safeties to make a lot of tackles, but now being a conservative, our two safeties are very, very deep, myself and George Teague. So when you see George Teague and I making a lot of plays, then there's going to be some problems up front. But, you know, hopefully the guys start catching up a little bit more as the season progresses. But right now, I'm the leading tackler, and I think Teague is like 3 or 4. So we got our work cut out for us every week.
Here's McNabb. Outside to Stanley Pritchett. And Pritchett is close to another Eagle first down, run down by Dexter Coakley.
Yeah, but he's short at first down. It's going to be interesting here. Well, I already know the answer because I can see they're going to go for a field goal. Because it would have been about 4th and 2. And this is the right play. I mean, sometimes you get down there and you get in this situation, you think, geez, we're moving the ball, let's go for it on 4th down. But here you have a good field goal kicker, and this is a play.
12 out of 13, as long as 51 yards. This will be from 40. He has a strong leg, but it's not good. Plenty far enough. But the Cowboys escape with no points against them. 9:38 left in the first quarter. Nothing. Dallas nothing, Philadelphia nothing. 9:38 left in the first quarter. Dallas takes over after the missed field goal by Akers. LaFleur on the move. This comes a blitz, and there goes Emmitt Smith. Hit by safety man Brian Dawkins.
And that's exactly what Emmitt Smith was talking about last night. He said, you know, that the Eagles also have run blitzes. And he said, if you get through, he said, sometimes they're going to guess right and they're going to throw you for a loss. He said, but sometimes you can gash it. Right there, they got them all going to the left. He made a cutback, and now they don't have a second layer. You see, you have 3 layers. You have the defensive line, the linebackers, and the secondary. When the linebackers blitz, then you only have 2 lines.
Outstanding block by Stepnoski, and here's Smith again.
See, now here's what the run blitz does. You see, you have your first line is your defensive line. Then your second line of defense against a run would be your linebackers, and then the third would be the secondary. Now when you take up these guys and you come in here and you blitz like this on a run blitz here, now you got this whole thing covered here. Now once you get this blitz and you have them all up in here, you see now you only have 2 lines of run defense, and that's exactly what happened. He broke that first line and got all the way to the second line. That's why he got the first down.
2nd and 6, 2 tight ends for Dallas. Here's Cunningham. Fires out of bounds, intended for LaFleur. Randall Cunningham. Eagle grade, I think, certainly fits. 22,877 passing yards. 2nd in team history. 150 touchdown passes. He had some great games and some great years here as the Eagle quarterback.
I remember a lot of giant games.
Yeah.
He was always jumping over Carl Banks or someone.
3rd and 6. Down he goes. Brandon Whiting.
One thing about Randall Cunningham, he will hold the ball longer. He doesn't get rid of the ball quickly. And you see, he gets the pressure. He gets a pressure defense. He's going to get it from right here. Now, right here, he's looking, but he can't look anymore. And he feels that he's going to go down, so he just starts on his way down. but that was part coverage sack because he had to wait and hold the ball too long, and he let that rush get to him.
Brandon Whiting had to go through 3 blockers. Micah Noor back to punt. Brian Mitchell deep. Mitchell signals fair catch and dives to make it.
That wind is doing some tricks with the ball.
Still 0-0. 7:36 left to play in the first quarter.
Look at this wind, Pat. We were talking about what it did to the ball on Brian Mitchell. Now watch Brian Mitchell. He'll look up, then he'll look to see where the rush is, then he locates the ball again, and when he located it for the second time, was doing tricks on him. He made a fair catch, but he had to come about 5 yards up after he misjudged that ball.
That's a heck of a play, really. Here's Donovan McNabb. Throws to Charles Johnson, complete.
And I'll tell you, on that one, he was accurate.
Yes,
That's what he said yesterday. He said that I have to work on my accuracy, and I have to work on getting the ball out in front of the receiver. Now, he ran a little, but watch, here's Charles Johnson here. He gets it out in front of him perfectly. Now, I think right there that he's more accurate when he runs a little with the ball. Instead of, sitting in the pocket and waiting, when he just does a little roll and throws it on the run, I think he's more accurate.
Brian Mitchell, flag on the play. Mitchell was the deep back, got the carry.
Before the snap, false start. Offense, number 76. 5 yards, remains first down.
Right now for a game break, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Pat, Jeff Garcia threw his first pick in the first quarter this season, and the Saints capitalized on it, as well as converting on 4th and 4, that 1-yard touchdown strike from Blake to Andrew Glover. 7-0 Saints in the first, as we take it back to touchdown Pat Summerall and John Madden.
That touchdown, is that what he said?
Yeah. Old TD Pat Summerall.
Long ago. That's Darnell Autry. And Autry swings down the sideline before he's knocked out of bounds by Darren Woodson.
Darnell Autry is, we said they're going to kind of have a running back committee. We saw Brian Mitchell's been in there. We've seen that Amp Lee's been in there. And now it's Darnell Autry. Stanley Pritchett also plays when they do one back. Pritchett does a lot of the one back, but Autry is the guy that was here a couple years ago, quit to become an actor, and then came back to football.
2nd and 2. A handoff to Autry. And Autry got the first down.
Okay, now if we look here, here's Summerall. He's playing defense there. He picks it off. Okay, now watch him run here. Now he puts on the jet, good stride. In those days, you almost dropped that ball.
No. I knew where I was.
No, I knew you knew where you were, but you dropped the ball.
Well, you could get up and run again if you needed to in those days.
And that's why you didn't worry about that knee down, elbow down.
No, none of that.
Down by contact, none of those rules.
You know who that quarterback was?
Jim Finks.
Jim Finks. The late Jim Finks.
The late, great Jim Finks.
Wonderful guy.
Yeah, he sure was. And talk about a guy who, did a lot for the Chicago Bears and
the Minnesota Vikings.
Right?
Yeah.
A lot of their success was because of Jim Finks. But you shouldn't have intercepted him then if he was such a nice guy. What the heck were you doing? Were you in a drop?
Well, I had to make a promise to him that I would never say he was the quarterback.
You just let that cat out of the bag. Well, were you dropping in a zone, or was that a man you were doing?
No, it was a screen pass, and I felt it coming.
Well, where were you playing?
It was the defensive end.
What were you doing back down 10 yards?
I'm telling you, I felt the screen coming, so I backed out of my rush and backed into the pass.
So that was a zone blitz?
Well, no, we didn't know what that was in those days.
But that's what it was. I mean, that's what they're doing now, zone blitz.
Well, look at it again. You'll see the ball hit me in the head.
Wait, right here?
Yeah.
The ball.
It took me a moment to gather myself.
They said, one thing about that Summerall, he uses his head.
I scored a lot of points in that game.
I don't know why you were dropping off if you were a defensive end and you didn't have zone blitz.
Timeout. Philadelphia timeout. Glad you enjoyed that.
Okay, I have to apologize because if we start, here's Pat here. Now, you were rushing and you did feel the screen here. See, that's where I was wrong. You see, you start to rush, then you feel right at that point right there. You were right. You felt screen, then you dropped off and got the interception. I thought you were back downfield, so I'm sorry.
It was cat-like reaction.
There's never been a screen played better in the history of the National Football League.
You're right. Stanley Pritchett gets the carry.
And now he's the fourth guy that's touched the ball as a running back here. We talked about that earlier. Darnell Autry the last time. Brian Mitchell, we've seen him. Amp Lee, we've seen him. And then Stanley Pritchett just got one. Boy, what happened to Leon Lett? See him go off the field. At one time, he was a dominant player, one of the best defensive tackles in all of football, and he doesn't make a lot of plays anymore.
Maybe it had to do with the people around him. Torrance Small, the intended receiver, when he and Charles Haley were together, they could put some heat on somebody.
Well, this looks like Torrance Small doesn't expect that to come. He looked like he didn't expect to catch that. In fact, Andy Reid was telling us that the week before, last week against the Giants, they had 9 catchable balls that they dropped.
Wayne McGarity is deep for Sean Landetta's punt. It's a high one. McGarity signals fair catch, and again the wind played tricks. 4:24 remaining at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. 0-0 so far. It'll be 3rd and 12 as we get set to start the second quarter. 0-0 score. Cowboys at the Eagle 35. Chris Warren is the deep back.
The Cowboys are right in that borderline field goal range, and I would anticipate a blitz here by the Eagles to knock them out of field goal range.
Here they come. The pass is complete to Warren, who slips one tackler. One tackle gets out of bounds, and I think he got enough for the first.
And the guy that missed the tackle was Troy Vincent, who's usually a pretty good tackler. And if he makes that tackle, then it becomes 4th down. Troy Vincent misses the tackle, and it's 1st down. You talk about, plays and things you have to do. You watch Chris Warren catches the ball. Now watch. See, Vincent comes up, misses that tackle right there, and Chris Warren gets the 1st down.
Emmitt Smith back in place of Warren, and he gets the carry. Emmitt at the line of scrimmage by Jeremiah Trotter, who's from Hooks, Texas.
Yeah, and anyone from Hooks, Texas that chopped wood all his life has to be big and strong and tough. And the thing is he's another guy that always plays well against the Cowboys. And he's been a Cowboy fan all his life until he got to be an Eagle. But watch how he just reads that thing, and then he finds a hole. You know how the back always looks for a hole? Well, a linebacker looks for a hole to run through, or as they call it, to scrape. Jeremiah Trotter scrape.
2nd and 11. Cunningham throws to McKnight. Complete, but a flag on the play.
Troy Vincent wasn't going to miss that tackle, was he? He's already given him one first down.
McKnight is down.
This Eagle defense is tough on wide receivers. The Cowboys, we repeat again.
Offense, number 79. 10-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Penalty against the Cowboys, against Eric Williams.
An illegal hands to the face. We talked about how they lost Joey Galloway in the first game.
Yep.
Rocket Ismail has already got out in this game.
And now McKnight is down. And he's been their leading receiver.
And then they get knocked back 10 yards with a penalty on Eric Williams for hands to the face. In fact, they put that rule in for Eric Williams. Remember years ago, he used to always give that first shot, boom, right to the face, and he was very effective with it. That's how he pass protected, and then they made that a rule that was illegal, and that hands to the face by the tackle was kind of an Eric Williams rule. James McKnight looks like he's all right.
Yeah, he does, walking under his own power. Damon Hodge has replaced him.
Let's watch it. You'll see. Here he is right here. Here's Eric Williams. We'll see that hands to the face penalty. See right there. He's up. There it is right there. He had that right hand right up in his face mask. And there's that hit and that tackle by Troy Vincent. He was going to wrap him up and get him down, and there was going to be no question about it.
McGarity replaced Hodge before the play got started. Here's Emmett again. And Emmett inside the 20 to the 15. Near another Cowboy first down, not quite enough.
You know, we've been watching Emmitt Smith run for so many years, and you know, and he's such a great and natural runner. But the one thing that he always does, he always holds the ball in his left hand. And he said that he's always done that. And then you see right at the end, he'll put that right hand around it. But you see, he takes it, puts it under his left arm, always runs with the ball in his left hand because he has the best balance that way.
Jackie Harris. This is going to be close.
Those are the things that we talked about before the game is that Randall Cunningham will do differently. We see that 60 was a magic number to hold Emmitt Smith to, and he already has that in the second quarter. But, you know the Randall Cunningham, the difference between the offensive game plan for Randall Cunningham and Troy Aikman would be more of that type of stuff right there that we just saw where he ran a rollout. And, you know, because when Troy Aikman plays, it's mostly drop back, stay in the pocket. And when Randall Cunningham plays, they want to move the pocket a little.
Just about that short. And Dave Campos said, let's go.
Yep, you saw him say, go for it. See, here's the thing that's different. See, here's Randall Cunningham rolling out and throwing. Jackie Harris just doesn't get turned around enough to get that first down.
They need about a foot, and they're going to go.
We remember them going for it on fourth down here and not making it, too, don't we?
First, I remember them going for it on third down and not making it, and then coming back with the same play on fourth down.
And then there was a penalty.
Emmitt Smith is deep. Jackie Harris on the move, and Cunningham is going to get the first down. We asked him last night, Randall, when we were talking to him about what he thought he could do physically 7 years ago. Well, John Schurz.
You know, the thing that he said is he said, I could still quarterback sneak and I can still leap, and he did both of those on that play. That's one big advantage. You know, to having Randall Cunningham is a quarterback is right at the line of scrimmage when he gets a ball. And if he can run with it, he's the best short yardage runner there is because the back is back 7 yards. So he has to run 7 yards before he gets to the line of scrimmage.
Cunningham faked and rolled, and it's picked off in the end zone by Brian Dawkins.
Cunningham tried to throw that away, and he didn't get it out of the back line.
Didn't throw it far enough. Dawkins sprints back to the Eagle bench.
He's bringing this thing to life.
Looks like he has ideas about the...
Watch this. Mike Mamula really makes this play. It's a bootleg. You see, they fake to the left, and he comes out to the right. But watch Mamula right there. He's in Cunningham's face, and Cunningham is trying to throw the ball away. But Mamula was there, so Cunningham couldn't step up. He kind of twisted, and that took the distance off the ball and let Brian Dawkins intercept it.
This is Darnell Autry with the ball as the Eagles started from their own 20 after the interception by Dawkins, and here's another flag.
And there seems to be a lot of pushing and shoving and talking and stuff like that after each play. And
that's the kind of game this always is.
That was one of the first things you said, that these two teams really don't like each other.
This is against Dallas.
But I always said, you know, if you're going to do that stuff, you have to stop when the whistle blows. I mean, be tough, be aggressive from the time the ball snapped till the whistle
After
blows.
the ball was dead, personal foul on the defense, number 91. 15 yards, automatic, first down.
Demetrius Underwood.
You watch him right here. Watch Demetrius Underwood. There, you see the play's over. He just tried to poke someone in the eye there.
Yeah, I think you're right. First and 10 Eagles. No gain. Darnell Autry gets the carry again, and Greg Ellis. And another flag.
I tell you, Brian Wortham, the middle linebacker of the Cowboys, really played that well. That's the thing that he does. He plays a run well.
Run extremely well.
And when he sees something, he goes after it. But that's going to be another penalty on the Cowboys.
Yep.
Illegal hands to the face. Defense number 91. 5 yards. Automatic.
That's 2 on Demetrius Underwood.
And Demetrius Underwood will probably be taken out of this game because, you know, they don't need that kind of stuff. Camp was saying, what the heck is going on? Look at that. Today's combined plays 33, combined penalties 9.
Another first and 10 for the Eagles, and McNabb fakes the run, throws, and the pass is picked off by Woodson. Darren Woodson. And another flag after the interception by Woodson. Seems that he always has. This is a face mask violation against the Eagles. It seems that Woodson also always has big games here. He has big games every week.
Well, that's what he said yesterday. You know, no one likes the turf here in Philadelphia, but he said he enjoys playing here because of the crowd.
Personal foul, major face mask, defense number 24. 15 yards, retained possession, first down.
Darnell Autry.
And there's Darnell Autry right there, and it's the 15-yard variety, not the 5-yard variety.
Major variety.
You know, Darren Woodson was saying how he doesn't like to play deep, but here he is playing deep now, and you'll see what happens. Because he's deep, he comes up with this interception. You see the cross, and he just is able to sit back behind everything. He read that crossing pattern, got a jump on it, and picked it off.
Emmitt Smith is stopped for no gain by Hollis Thomas. Maybe lost a yard.
One thing that the Eagles have is they have 2 good defensive tackles. You know, especially when you're trying to run the ball. One is Hollis Thomas, who just made the play there, and the other guy is Corey Simon, lined up right next to him, right there, number 90, who was their #1 draft choice this year. And you watch that guy and just the way he plays. I mean, he has a real motor, and I think that he's going to be a top defensive tackle for a long time in this league.
He's going to be in line for Rookie of the Year. Here's Emmitt. And a flag before the play.
Before the snap.
It's going to be a
false start on the offense, number 79. 5 yards, second down.
Eric Williams. This week, it's the Big 12 Showdown on Fox Sports Net's College Football Saturday. Heisman Trophy candidate Eric Crouch leads Nebraska against conference rivals Kansas State with a trip to the Big 12 championship game and national title hopes on the line. Plus other action beginning with the college football pregame show at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 Pacific, Saturday on the Fox Sports Net. Second and 16. Cunningham drops. Screen pass to Emmitt Smith with blockers in front. Close to a Cowboy first down.
Well, that was a good-looking play. They came on pressure. Mark Stepnoski was a heck of a center. He gets out there. Watch old Step. He's going to act like he's blocking. Then he'll come right down here. See 53 start down here? Now he's going to end up in front of Emmitt Smith. See, they formed the screen, and here he is right here. Emmitt Smith just gets right behind him. Boom, he just knocks his guy right off the screen. Bill Cosby's at the game.
Yeah, he was in our booth.
Yeah, wearing sweats.
Chris Warren.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
I don't know either. Third and very short.
You had to get across that yellow line. See, it's where they're going to mark that thing.
That'll bring up, if they don't make it, 4th and short.
You remember what happened?
Another interesting.
You remember what happened the last 4th and short was a quarterback sneak, and I would expect if it's not a first down, although that last picture looked like it's going to be a first down. But if it's not a first down, I would expect that Randall Cunningham would quarterback sneak again.
Well, this is about...
That's how much he needs to quarterback sneak.
Than the last one. You know, Andy Reid's record as an Eagle coach is 10-15, yet many coaches would be criticized and questioned, and Andy Reid is very popular here.
Yeah, because you know, he has a way to go with this team and this organization, and they know that he's the right guy for it, and you just have to give him time.
Of course, there are all kind of rumors about him being in line to coach at college at BYU, but he says no.
I think you got to blitz these holes right there. Oh, they did. That's the thing, is you have to blitz those 2 0 holes, those 2 holes on either side of the center, and really pinch the center. Here's what it looks like from the umpire. See, here's where you need the pressure right here, because you know he's going to get the ball. And you see here, because Randall Cunningham has that thing where he just gets the ball and then makes himself skinny. You see, he goes sideways. See how he goes sideways there? That's just enough to get through.
And he got the first down.
I mean, he's not only, can jump and can move a little, but he has a good feel.
He's a wonderful athlete. Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt gets down near the Eagle 20. And if the Eagles were hoping to hold him to 60, they've lost that battle.
Yeah, so much for Jim Johnson's 60 yards. That's not going to happen. We're talking about Emmitt Smith and how he runs, and he's really gashed him a few times on those run blitzes. When he gets through there, I mean, he just, as he was telling us last night, he said you have to have patience to the hole and then a burst when you get to the hole.
Here's Chris Warren. Dragged down by Brian Dawkins, but he falls forward for a couple.
The Cowboys are really playing conservative football now, and that's what they want to do. I mean, use their offensive line, run, control the ball, play solid defense. The only thing that's hurt them really has been those 8 penalties they've had so far.
They want to control the clock.
And then they don't want to, they want to eliminate turnovers. And they had that one where Mamula got to Randall Cunningham when he was trying to throw the ball away.
Warren again. The search for Agent Mulder is on. And finally, the most anticipated premiere of the season. That's right, The X-Files is back. Tonight at 9, 8 Central, right here on Fox. The truth is out there.
That's one of the things I've always said.
The truth is out there.
And you know who's the truth? Emmitt Smith is the truth.
Yes, he is. And there he is. Cut down by Trotter.
He was saying there's only 2 things that he does left-handed, is play pool and run a football. And there's nothing else. I mean, he doesn't do anything else. Everything else he said he does right-handed except play pool. My dad told me years ago, never play pool with a guy that plays pool left-handed. Or never play poker with a guy named Doc.
Or play golf with a guy who can hit a 1-iron.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. If he has a 1-iron in his bag, get your hat.
3rd and 6. Cunningham drops. Throws to Robert Thomas, who has good hands, and he's close to a first down. And they have it.
Dave Campo was saying that he thinks that Robert Thomas is going to grow each year, and because he's a good receiver, he's a good blocker. Remember, he was a guy that they moved from linebacker, switched him from linebacker to fullback, and he said each year he's going to get a better feel being a fullback. But as far as a blocker, he's not going to be anything like Moose Johnston. Moose Johnston was one of the best lead blockers that I've ever seen.
Well, he always knew where to go.
That's the thing. He had a feel to how to get to the guy he had to block.
Here's Emmitt Smith again. Emmitt down to about the 7.
Although Robert Thomas just made a heck of a block
on
that play there. He went out and he got his guy and he drove his guy and he ended up putting his guy on his back. Watch Robert Thomas up here. He's going to be right here. 44. Boink! and then drive.
He picked
And then
the right guy.
put him down right there. Here's what you do. You hit, you drive, and you knock him right out of the picture.
There's Troy Benson. 2nd and goal. Cunningham to Emmitt Smith again, and Emmitt's in the end zone.
He's the truth.
Emmitt's been at it a while, but he doesn't seem to have lost anything.
Here he is, and he loves to cut back. You know, I mean, to go to a direction. He started that ball towards the left side and then cut it back to the short right side.
Nobody's ever done it better. Extra point is good by Tim Cedar, and the Cowboys lead 7-0. 4:42 left in the second quarter. Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. The Cowboys have controlled the ball 18 minutes 29 seconds. They've run 31 plays to the Eagles 14.
And you know what that's all about? That's all about the Cowboys having their running back and the Eagles not having theirs.
McNabb gets to Autry. Autry fights for yardage and gets about 9.
You see George Teague? George Teague came up and squared up, and he just forgot to put his arms around him. He thought he had him. He's just going to run right into him. Watch Teague here, number 31. He just hits him there, forgets to put his arms around him, gets knocked back.
Yeah.
Autry really brought some load on that play.
And then who makes the tackle?
Darren Woodson makes most of the tackle.
2nd and 1. And this is Cecil Martin, and I don't know if he got it or not. Don't think so. Brandon Noble playing in place of Chad Hennings.
They got Brandon Nobles playing in there. Michael Myers is playing in there.
Yeah. Demetrius Underwood.
And of course Leon Lett.
Alonzo Spellman's playing defensive end, which he prefers.
There's Leon Lett there. Now we ought to just watch him for a play and see what he's doing. He's right here.
McNabb on the quarterback sneak, and they're indicating first down.
Well, this is what Leon Lett did right here in the quarterback sneak. He's always had a problem with this, staying low. You see what happened is his shoulder pads got above the blocker's shoulder pads, and on a quarterback sneak, you're always going to lose that battle.
He made something out of it. He actually made a pretty good play, spinning out of it. Yeah, but he lost the battle, as you said.
It was too late.
Yeah. Autry again. Alonzo Spellman, Ryan McNeil.
See that helmet with a star on it? Old Randall Cunningham said that, he said, I never even thought about the fact that I was a Cowboy. And I went play with the Eagles in Minnesota and game with the Cowboys, and never thought about the rivalry and wearing a helmet with a star on it until I put my uniform on and looked in the mirror. I'm a Cowboy.
Pritchett is the deep back this time. And he gets the carry.
Listen
2 minutes
booing.
And that's the fans booing the choice of plays by Philadelphia. Check your local listings.
I don't even know how they keep their ankles from turning in.
I'm not sure they do. McNabb. Chased. Fumble. And the ball went straight backwards, picked up by John Welborn.
I don't know what the heck that was, whether he hit and fumbled that thing or he just tried to throw that back there or something. That was a strange looking play.
Somebody put a hat on it.
You see, he has it there, yeah. but then he lifts it up.
Yeah.
He looks like he lifted up and tried to lateral or to throw it.
George Teague hit him.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't come out then. See, it's still not out.
There it goes.
Maybe that was that last hit when it was knocked out.
There's the recovery. This is a timeout.
John Wellborn, the old left guard. Here it is from the umpire's cam. I think he is trying to throw it backwards.
I don't know.
He's trying to stretch for the first down. You can see the marker there where he has to go. That's what it was. He was trying to stretch for the first down, and then he got hit, and the ball just went right out. And that's a dangerous thing to try and stretch with one arm. You have to keep both arms on that ball, and it's hard to stretch it out with both arms.
That's Wayne McGarity, who scored 2 touchdowns this year.
He was having trouble with the wind in the pregame warm-up.
Stay away from it. I don't think the ball hit anybody. The Eagles down it at the 20. Don't forget, next week it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader, beginning with J.B. Terry, Howie, and Chris on America's favorite pregame show. Then the Cardinals take on the NFC Central leading Vikings. Plus 2 NFC powerhouses collide as the Rams battle the Giants. That's where we'll be. Or other regional action. It all starts at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific next Sunday. Check your local listing.
You know, the Eagles are going to have a lot to talk about, I think, at halftime. I don't think they're playing with a lot of emotion. They don't look like that. I thought they'd come out here all fired up, but they haven't. They've only completed 1 pass to a wide receiver. They haven't thrown a ball completed a pass in over 20 minutes. And again, especially offensively, they're not playing with a lot of emotion.
That was Chris Warren. On the other hand, the Cowboys appear to be playing with some emotion.
Well, they do, and the only thing that really stopped them was themselves with the penalties. And then you remember that one that Randall Cunningham was trying to throw away. And that became an interception. But they're playing a lot better than they have. Here we're going to watch Larry Allen down here, one of the better guards.
Warren gets the carry, and the Eagles take time out. Caldwell on the stop, excuse me.
Because they have good field position here. They want to get the ball back with that field position.
Psst, vote for me. My dad was president. I even look like my dad.
Big deal. My dad was a senator. Yep.
We have the same shoe size.
Yeah, well, I invented the internet. Lots of other stuff, too.
Once my mom thought I was my dad.
Space shuttle. That was mine.
On the phone, people think I'm my dad.
Guess me. I'm on TV.
We have the same name. My dad and I, that is.
Not going anywhere for a while? Grab a Snickers. Peanuts, caramel, and chocolate. That ought to hold you.
My dad and I wear the same pants.
I invented pants.
Hungry?
7-0 Dallas, leading a minute 15 left in the first half. 3rd down and about 14.
And if the Eagles stop them from getting the first down here, they'll take another timeout, their last timeout.
Pitches back to Chris Warren. Warren got very close to first down yardage, stopped by Carlos Emmons.
Yeah, I think that he got the first down.
He did.
And that was the thing that now they can't do it. So now it's going to change where the Cowboys are going to try and get a score now.
Cowboys go hurry up.
These are the types of things that not playing really hurt a quarterback. I mean, from preseason on to the beginning of regular season, other than when he was hurt, Troy Aikman gets most of the reps and and does all these 2-minute offense type things, and then you get a backup quarterback and they always have trouble in these situations.
Don't forget, coming up on the Visa halftime report, J.B., Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league, and our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime report. Cunningham gives in at Smith, who slipped down. Chris Warren left limping just a moment ago after his last carry. 46 seconds left. Each team has 1 timeout remaining. That was was the Eagles' last timeout. Dallas has one left. 46 seconds left. Cowboys have the ball, third down. Need about 7. And this is Emmitt Smith. Emmitt up to the 40, not enough for a first. The Eagles will get the ball back one more time.
They'll get the ball back if the Cowboys have to punt it.
Here comes the punting team. Micah Noor going back deep.
Play clock is 16, so there's going to be about a second or maybe 2 seconds left. The Eagles have no timeouts, can't do anything about it. If they could get a change of possession, there would be a timeout at change of possession. This will not get to change of possession.
1 second left. Let it run as long as they could. Micah Noor back.
Please put 1 second on the game clock.
And now it's 2 seconds. They're going to add a second.
Now, I would think, in fact, the Cowboys are going to bring in their offense. There would be no reason to kick this ball. And all they have to do is come in and kneel down.
If they kicked it, the only things that could happen would be bad.
That's right. And I was thinking that Noor would just get the ball and just run around and fall down. But if you're going to have someone handle the ball, you'd rather have your offense. So they're taking their punt team off the field, bring their offense back just to run out this last second of play. And this will just be a kneel down by Cunningham.
And that's all he does. And that'll finish the first half with Dallas leading Philadelphia 7-0. And Jerry Jones departs. Back at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, not a lot of highlights and high points to talk about, John.
Well, I think the Cowboys were very aggressive. I think Emmitt Smith had a big first half. I think the offensive line blocked well. You can see that by the time of possession down here. I mean, the Cowboys almost 20 minutes to 10 minutes of the Eagles.
Look at the rushing yards.
Yeah, 110 to 40, and that's the thing. I mean, the Cowboy offense was aggressive. The Eagle offense was not aggressive. I thought the Eagles would come out more fired up in this game than they did. And it seems like the Cowboys, if you said, if you had a meter for the most fired up, I would think in the first half the Cowboys were more fired up than the Eagles. And of course, one of the big differences is the Cowboys have their running back. They have Emmitt Smith. And the Eagles don't have their running back. They don't have Deuce Staley. They're trying to get the job done with 4 different guys, and they're not getting the job done. Donovan McNabb, doesn't look like he's playing with a lot of confidence. I mean, he threw that interception, into a zone where Darren Woodson was just sitting back there, and he just threw it right to him.
Emmitt Smith over on the sideline, that fedora, the familiar hat of Tom Landry on all the jerseys of the Cowboys.
And look where Emmitt Smith ran in the first half. 6 times for 34 yards to the left, 8 times for 53 yards and a touchdown in the middle. They only tried the right side 2 times for -3. So you can see that most of Emmitt Smith's yardage were to the left side and the middle. And of course, that's where Larry Allen is. Larry Allen, still one of the best linemen in all of football.
You were talking to Emmitt. We were talking to Emmitt last night about why he carried the ball under his right arm. And he said he'd been doing it under his left arm, I'm sorry. Been doing it still since he was in high school. And nobody ever corrected him.
No, he said the first time he ever carried a football, he carried it left-handed and never changed from it.
Brian Mitchell will bring it out of the end zone, about 2 yards deep. The Cowboys special teams down in a hurry. And Mitchell gets to the 15, and that's it. And let's go down to D.J. Johnson.
Pat and John, at halftime, I got to spend time in the Eagles locker room. And John, like you said earlier, the offense stressed being more aggressive. They said there's plenty of zones to be found when the Cowboys are playing cover 2. They said the receivers must do a good job getting in those holes, and the quarterback has to find them when they do get in the holes. The defense stressed just waking up. They say this whole team, the whole game has been sleepy the whole time. Everyone's been very dull. They need to wake up. At the end, Andy Reid came in. He simply said, hey, there's no way they can beat us. Only way we can lose is we beat ourselves. They don't want to beat themselves in this game. They should come out fired up in this first quarter.
That was Darnell Autry, and he was running like he was fired up. Got about a 9-yard gain.
Well, that's what, we talked earlier how the Cowboys had to do that with their big offensive line and their running backs, and the Eagles would like to do that. I mean, they have, 2 big tackles that they pay a lot of money to, Trey Thomas and John Runyon. And if you're paying them a lot of money and they're worth something, you got to use them.
2nd and 1. Hand off to Autry again. To the 30, and that should be enough for the first.
They did get behind John Runyon there. Look at the difference in the game, Pat. In the first week, at halftime, the total yards were 181s for the Eagles, and today it's 85. They rushed for over 100 yards. Today, they rushed for 40. They had 14 first downs in the first half. And they just dominated. I mean, the Eagles just came out. Remember, they started with an onside kick and just dominated the Cowboys from that point on. But not today.
Autry, the Cowboy pursuit gets him, led by Baron Wortham, the middle linebacker.
Wortham's pretty good, isn't he?
Yes.
Against the run. I mean, he has trouble. When they play that cover 2, those 2 safeties have the deep middle, and then the guy that, they have the deep outside, and the guy that really has the deep middle is the middle linebacker. And Wortham is so aggressive, and he wants to play the run so hard that if you fake a run at him, he'll step up in there, and then you can get in that middle of that cover 2. That's what happened to him last week against Jacksonville.
2nd and 8. McNabb gives to Darnell Autry again, and he tries to take it outside, but is caught by the Cowboy pursuit.
And the fans are starting to boo now because you run, you don't get much on first down, then they expect them to come back and throw something and get a completion on 2nd down.
3rd and long, and here comes Leon Lett. They take out the middle linebacker Wortham and go with their nickel package. 3rd and 8.
I mean, that's an advantage for the Cowboys when they get Wortham off the field on a passing down.
Stanley Pritchett's the Eagle defensive back. The deep back, I'm sorry, not defensive. McNabb with time throws the short pass out to Pritchett, who will not get enough for an Eagle first down.
See, that's the thing when you talk about defense. If you can play good defense on first down and put them in 2nd and long and then eventually in 3rd and long, then you can let them do stuff like that and just come up and tackle them.
Wayne McGarity back deep.
And McGarity's been having trouble with this wind. We watched him in the pregame warm-up. He was having trouble with it.
Landetta's punt sails to McGarity. And McGarity is around the corner. He's got one man to beat for the moment. And out of bounds as the Eagles chase him in that direction, and a flag on the play.
I saw a hold by the Cowboys. In fact, it was just as McGarity started out to his left, I saw a white jerseyed fellow grab a dark jerseyed fellow.
Well,
I didn't get it done, but I'm just watching with raw eyes, and I see him start to break. I see a guy grab another guy.
Face mask.
They didn't see it, though. They didn't see what I saw, raw eyes. They saw something else.
During the return, minor face mask on the kicking team, number 43. 5 yards. First down.
A minor face mask. That's 5 yards. Number 43.
Yep, there it is right there.
Damon Moore.
That looked like face mask against face mask, though. And that wasn't what I saw. I did see a hold, though.
1st and 10, Dallas. Randall Cunningham, the quarterback, and Emmitt Smith gets the carry and gets a couple of yards. Barry Gardner made the stop.
You know, one of the things that D.J. Johnson was saying, that I have the same feeling, that it's kind of a sleepy Philadelphia Eagle team. I felt that in the first half. I thought they'd come out more fired up, like I said, and they haven't. They look like they're just kind of sleepwalking here and going through the motions.
Well, the whole stadium is like that.
Yeah, I know it. And the Eagles aren't good enough to do that. There are some teams that can get away with that. The Eagles aren't one of them.
Cunningham out to Thomas. Couple more and out of bounds. Cowboys leading 7-0. Pat Summerall with John Madden at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia.
I think the Cowboys have to, not let them. If you do have that old sleepy dog, you just let them lie around. You don't kick them, and you have to get points up on the board. I think you don't want to let them sit in there too long. They have one score. And they had one interception in the end zone, but they got to get another score or two.
Here comes the blitz, and Cunningham comes out of the pocket as only he can, and has for years, and he gets a first down and more. Randall Cunningham. And when out of bounds by Trotter. Excuse me, John.
I was just going to say, when he comes out of the pocket, you don't know what he's going to do. I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks that'll feel something here. You see, he sees this lane right here, and anytime you give him a lane like that, he's going to take it. But you see, a lot of guys are just run out of bounds here. Randall Cunningham starts like a sideline. You think he's going to go out of bounds, and then he cuts back in and picks up 6 or 7 more yards. That was a 19-yard run. I mean, those are the kind that Randall Cunningham makes because he makes decisions like that.
1st and 10 at the Philadelphia 40, and this is Emmitt Smith. Heading wide. Steps out of a couple of tacklers. And gets out of bounds in front of the Eagle bench.
And now the fans are starting to boo because of the poor tackling of the Eagles. Let's watch Larry Allen here. I mean, we know if there's a guy in front of him how well he blocks, but watch him when he pulls. I mean, he has good speed, and doink, he gets one, just knocks him out of the way. Doink, he gets the other one. And when he hits him, you notice, how
they
big and
backwards.
Strong and but they go back about 5 yards. Now, Larry Allen's a big guy that brings a load. Here's a little guy, Tim Howard,
also
that brings a load.
Yeah,
he sure does.
That's Chris Warren. And Cunningham pulls it down and fakes a couple of throws and takes it himself for about 3 yards. Brandon Whiting made the stop.
You could just see that Randall Cunningham is getting more and more comfortable in there. When he can do things like that, when he can go back, fake to one guy, fake to another guy, still run the ball.
Well, going back to what he said last night, I asked him what he could do 7 years ago that he can't do now, and he said he thought a minute, and he said nothing. I can do everything I could do 10 years ago or 7 years ago.
In fact, he said, if anything, his arm is stronger now than it was when he was younger.
And he's always had a strong arm. This pass is out to McGarity, and McGarity gathers himself and gets about a yard shy of a first.
Yeah, the fans here don't like their offense because they're not very aggressive. They're not running the ball. And now they don't like their defense because their defense isn't tackling. But if you add up missed tackles today, the Eagles have missed a whole heck of a lot of tackles.
Cowboys are 4th and a half a yard. They're going to go for it.
This is a tough situation here. If they kicked a field goal, it would be a 53-yard field goal. And you're not going to do that with this win.
Nope.
If you punt it and it goes into the end zone, you're going to pick up about 10 yards, so you may as well go for it.
Cowboys are going for it. 4th and about a half yard. This is a little bit longer than they had before when they went for it. They're 2 for 2.
And both of those were quarterback sneaks. I don't expect that this will be a quarterback sneak.
Randall Cunningham gives to kept it himself. And Randall has the ball knocked loose and knocked out of bounds. The Eagles came up with the play they needed. Brandon Whiting hit Cunningham.
Yeah, they got that bootleg down. I didn't expect them to run a quarterback sneak, but I didn't expect them to go for the whole bundle either. Randall Cunningham, you see, can't get to the outside. That's the same thing he tried on Mike Mamula when he threw his interception. This time it was Brandon Whiting, who has good contain out here. See, with Randall Cunningham, you can't let him get to the outside. I'll tell you, Brandon Whiting hit him just as he's throwing that ball. And his arm wasn't coming forward. See, Randall tries to make it look like his arm was coming forward. Incomplete pass. That ball was out before his arm went forward.
It was 4th down, so the Eagles have it. And McNabb goes right downfield, and it's incomplete. Intended for Ryan McNeil on the coverage. It was intended for Torrance Small.
Yeah, the thing was, here's Torrance Small and Ryan McNeil going down that side. That ball was just thrown a little short. Had it got a little more out in front, he would have had a shot at it because he had a step or two on McNeil. It was interesting. The Eagles said that they wanted to work on the other cornerback, Felipe Sparks.
Looking at Randall Cunningham. Right knee, that's Darnell Autry, the ball carrier. And there's no gain for that. Brandon Noble led the defense.
And the Cowboys only have one other quarterback, and you see him warming up, Clint Sterner.
Who's the rookie free agent from the University of Arkansas.
Played a lot in preseason. In fact, Dave Campo said last night he played a lot more in preseason than he would have liked.
He knows the system. That's the plus he's got going. 3rd down and long. And a flag on the play. They might have taken too long. Cunningham's right knee.
False start offense. Number 65.
Against the Eagles.
5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Bubba Miller, the center. How does he get a false start?
By moving the ball.
Yep.
You know, anytime the center, they just give him one move. I mean, he can take the ball and just bring it directly up there. If he takes it and moves it at all and doesn't bring it directly up there, then that penalty is against him.
3rd and 13. McNabb, incomplete, intended for Small again. This wind, not making excuses for anybody, but the wind is tough. It's blowing about 30 miles an hour.
You know, and this is the area that Jacksonville really hurt the Cowboys in last week, in that middle.
Yep.
I mean, Torrance Small got there in the middle. He only got one hand up. I wonder if he would have, reached for two if he had a chance, but he was in that hole. He was where he was supposed to go.
Landeta back to punt it. McGarity lets it go. And it bounces down and rolls dead at about the 9-yard line. And a flag on the play.
George Teague better watch out that the ball didn't hit him.
It was close. They move it out closer to the 10. Penalty against Dallas. And they'll move it back closer to the goal line.
Because if that ball was rolling around, and if it touched any part of the body of the return team at 5.
By the receiving team, number 31. Half the distance to the goal. They retain possession. 1st down.
That's George Teague right there.
Yep.
And that's why he was close. You see he's holding and grabbing right there. And then right there, he's pretty close to the ball, too. He could have had a double dip there.
Randall Cunningham is back at quarterback for the Cowboys. Chris Warren's the deep back, and he gets the carry. And Warren gets out past the 10. That double dip dose of Chris Warren and Emmitt Smith has been very effective.
Yeah, and the thing that they're able to do with that is sometimes they'll use them both at the same time in the same backfield, and then the other thing is they can bring Chris Warren in the passing situations and keep Emmitt Smith out of having to run those pass patterns and basically let Chris Warren do that type of thing plus run and let Emmitt Smith just kind of stay with the running.
2nd and 5. Warren again. He cuts back and gets outside the 15. right now, for a game break, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Pat, despite a horrible first half, Atlanta is still in it. Danny Cannell in for the injured Chris Chandler with the concussion. 19-yard strike to Terrence Mathis. We got a ball game, only a touchdown difference, 14-7. Bucks on top in the third. Pat Summerall, John Madden.
Back at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, 7-0 Dallas leading. Dallas with the ball at their own 15, first down. Cunningham. This time it's Emmitt Smith, and he flashes into the secondary. Emmitt Smith to the 40. Out of bounds.
Just ran right out of bounds.
Yeah.
He looked like he was just looking at the inside, and then he just ran right out of bounds. But that, again, was the middle. You're going to see him start to his right, and then look, we can stop it right here. We can see that he sees this lane right here, and that's where he hits. Now he hits that backside, makes a move right there on Houck, makes Bobby Taylor miss. Again, poor tackling by the Eagles. And Emmitt Smith is up the sideline, and it just runs out of bounds. He didn't even look at that white line.
He was looking back inside at the tacklers.
He either ran out of bounds or ran out of gas, one of the two.
Well, if he ran out of gas, he better refuel soon, because he gets the carry again, stopped by Grassmanis.
You know, this is the worst Eagle tackling team that I can remember. I mean, you know, part of it, I mean, Emmitt Smith, as I said before, has had big games against the Eagles. He's had 5 100 games here, 5 100-yard games here, and you know, part of it is him. But again, the Eagles tackling is just sloppy today.
2nd and 8, and Warren replaces Emmitt Smith. Here comes the blitz. And Warren splashes into the Eagles secondary. The blitzer missed.
And that's exactly what happened. Remember, we explained this before, that if you look here, you have 3 levels. You have the line, and then 2 is linebacker, 3 is the secondary. Now here's what's happening. When you take these guys and you go and you blitz, and you take here and you come and you blitz these guys and you take all the gaps, then you look at it and you put them all up in there, and now you have the first line, and the second is the secondary, and that's what happened. There's no middle line there.
First and 10, Chris Warren gets the ball again and loses yardage this time. Whiting made the stop.
And here's a previous play, and you're going to see the blitz, and they hit the blitz. They hit the gaps. I mean, Trotter's just blocked right there. They hit the quarterback. They missed the running back, and you see who has to make the tackle. It gets into the secondary. Boom, right now. I mean, if you get through a blitzing line and linebackers, the first guy you're going to run into is just like that, Brian Dawkins,
the free safety. Safety man. 2nd and 11. Cunningham drops to throw it and drops it out to Chris Warren. And Warren struggles down the sideline. Not much there. 7-0. Cowboys lead.
You know, we talked about what it would be before the game. Emmitt Smith has rushed 20 times for 121 yards. Chris Warren has rushed 9 times for 48 yards. Emmitt Smith is averaging 6 yards per carry. Chris Warren is averaging 5.3, so that's what it is. I mean, that's what it's about today.
Job done.
The Cowboys, it's about their running backs and their offensive line doing a good job. That's what it is.
3rd and 9. Cunningham throws downfield, incomplete, and there's a flag on the play. This is going to be against the Eagles.
Carlos Emmons, the linebacker of the Eagles, hit Randall Cunningham just as he threw that ball.
It's against Philadelphia. Troy Vincent.
There were fouls by both teams on the play.
Both teams.
On the defense, number 23, and illegal hands to the face. Offense, number 77. Those calls out set.
Solomon Page.
Here's a Troy Vincent one. You're going to see him on McKnight there. I guess that's the illegal. Oh, right there. You see he grabbed his face mask with his left hand. And then here's the Solomon Page run. One hands to the face. Yep, right there. You see the right hand up there in the face mask. And then the other thing is Carlos Emmons, the linebacker, hit Randall Cunningham just as he threw that ball. There's a lot of stuff went on in that play.
Yeah.
But they go right back and do it over again.
3rd and 9. Tucker comes in motion. Cunningham fires downfield to McGarity. McGarity is at the 30 and stopped there by Vincent. That'll be 4th down.
I'll tell you the thing that did by Randall Cunningham. He felt the blitz from his left, so he ran a little to his right, threw the ball to McGarity, but that put the Cowboys in field goal position.
Range.
Just that play there, that little scramble by Randall Cunningham when he felt the blitz and getting the ball out there to McGarity. Didn't get him a 1st down, but it did get him in position so they can do this.
From 48 yards out, this is Tim Cedar. Far enough. And the Cowboys lead it 10-0 with 1:58 left in the 3rd. One more quarter to go. The Big E wants them to tighten things up.
Yeah, finish it off. You know, this is always a big game here for Eric Williams because he's from this area. He went to high school here, and the local Philadelphia guy grew up here, and when he comes back here, he has a lot of people here, and not only wants to play a big game, but wants to win that game.
Yep.
He's telling someone to
they'll take it. It's been a frustrating year.
You know, Eric Williams is one of the more aggressive offensive linemen in football. There's not a lot of real aggressive offensive linemen, but Eric Williams over the years has been one of them.
Screen pass to Pritchett. He's got some room and some blockers and gets down to the Dallas 20-yard line. Bubba Miller, one of those out in front of him.
That's the thing is the Cowboys fall for this one. You see the rush, and the rush just keeps coming. They don't drop the rush off. So then they let McNabb get a good shot to Pritchett, and then Pritchett can get into that secondary. Usually, most teams will drop a lineman off like you did back in the day when they see or feel that screen.
Darnell Autry gets the carry. Gets about a yard.
I wonder what made Darnell Autry come back to football. Remember, he played, he was on the team, and decided he was going to quit and go be an actor in Hollywood, and then decided he wasn't going to be an actor. He wanted to be a football player.
Well, someone told him as an actor he was a pretty good football player.
Well, you know what happened? He tried to get a part as a football player, and they told him, you don't look like a football player enough.
Here is Donovan McNabb with all kinds of time and overthrows the intended receiver, Darnell Autry. You don't look like a football player is what they told him.
That's what they...
Yeah.
And then he said, if I can't get a part as a football player, I'm not going to get any part, so I'll go back and play for the Eagles.
Of course, he started with the Bears and then came here.
You know, I had a player once that played for me.
Yeah.
And he told me that he wanted to be an actor, and he was going to acting school. And I was saying, you know, that's stupid. You can't make any money. You know, you can't do that. Anyway, to make a long story short, the guy was Carl Weathers.
Not bad. The pass complete to Pritchett is well short of the 1st down. And here comes the Eagle field goal team. Akers trotting out.
But this is okay for the Eagles because they need something. You know, we've always said that the toughest points to get are those first one. And the Eagles have been shut out. You have to break that thing, break through, get some points here. You know, you're down by 10 anyway. At least this is going to get you started. And with 13 minutes, you have plenty of time.
Weathers didn't come back to the Raiders, did he?
No. Heck, he was making those Rocky moves.
Yeah. The field goal by Akers is good. It's 10-3. Andy Reid's team finally gets on the scoreboard with 13 minutes left.
Emmitt Smith is the truth. Well, we've seen him over the years. And he's a real warrior. One of the toughest guys I've ever seen play this game.
Fumble on the exchange by Cunningham, and wisely, he just drops on it.
Those are things that, happen when you play a backup quarterback, but when the backup quarterback's been playing for 15 years and the center's been playing for 12, that shouldn't happen. When the snap was up there, Stepnoski did his part. Looked like Cunningham did his part, too. He had his hands on it and just dropped it.
2nd and 11. Emmitt Smith is the deep back. Fake to Emmitt. Cunningham pumps, pulls it down, throws it away.
Yeah, that's what Cunningham could always do, is take that arm and bring it all the way out and just stop the ball at the end of his delivery and then bring it back and do it again. Like most guys will fake and they leave the ball up around their shoulder. He can bring it all the way out and then bring it back again.
There's Ernie Zampese on the left. Les Miles, Jack Riley.
Yeah, here's Jack Riley. He's the offensive coordinator now. Ernie Zampese is a consultant.
3rd and 11.
See what Jack Riley's going to call here.
Eagles showing blitz. They don't. Oh, yes, they do. Cunningham from behind, chased and hit. And the Cowboys will have to punt.
Oh, did Carlos Emmons unload on Randall Cunningham?
From behind.
When he started to come out, he really unloaded on him. Watch number 51 here. He starts on the inside. Now watch, Cunningham comes to the outside. Cunningham right there.
Oh.
And that was an unload. The Eagles are using some spy today where a player just mirrors Cunningham. When they do that, that guy is Carlos Emmons, who just made that hit.
Mike Honore back to punt. Brian Mitchell deep for Philadelphia, makes the catch, gets back to his feet in a hurry. And Mitchell struggles for yardage as a flag comes flying in. Holding against the Eagles.
It seems like every return there's been a penalty on the return team. Some they've seen, some they haven't seen.
During the return, holding on the return team number 57. 10 yards. They retained possession. First down.
That's James Darling. Randall Cunningham really did take a shot on that 3rd down. Look at this.
Right there.
10-3 Dallas. 12 minutes left at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Cowboys leading 10-3. Out quickly from McNabb to Charles Johnson.
We talked about a spy and what a spy is. Now here's Randall Cunningham. Here's Carlos Emmons. Now what a spy does is he just mirrors the quarterback. Now Emmons is just going to mirror him. You see Cunningham starts back. Emmons, just watch it. Now see, he starts going this way. He just mirrors him. And then, of course, he whaps him at the end of the mirror.
2nd and 9. Hand off to Autry. Autry taking it down and out of bounds. And let's go for a game break to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Pat and John, the Collins to Toomer combination working well. Again, take a look at Collins. Beautifully thrown pass, soft, right in the hands of Amani Toomer. 32 yards, 2nd touch of the day for Toomer. 3 ties a career high for Collins. Let's take it back to Pat and John.
A lot of Giant doubters. Doubt their record should be what it is, but they keep winning.
Yeah, and they needed Amani Toomer to step up. That was one of the things, and he's doing it now.
McNabb off to the races, chased by Teague and Sparks. Felipe Sparks was limping over in pursuit of McNabb.
See, the thing that you can't do is you can't give McNabb this lane. You see, if you stop it right there, you see the lane that he had, and you give him that big a lane, he's going to take it. And he can run it all the way to where he runs out of bounds, but he has a first down. That's the thing. They always say, you have to stay in your lane. You have to stay in your lane against these kinds of quarterbacks that can run.
This is Autry again that gets the carry.
McNabb runs for 17 yards, and Autry runs for like 1 or 2 yards, and that's always a tough thing when you're when your quarterback is also your best running back. That was true, remember, for years with the 49ers when they had Steve Young. He was not only their best quarterback and best passer, but he was their best runner. And that's the same thing the Eagles have here with McNabb.
It's a big load to carry. 2nd and 8. 10 minutes left now. McNabb drops. Screen pass coming. And again, it's going to work. It's Pritchett. Pritchett gets to the 45-yard line of Dallas. That's enough for an Eagle first down.
It's been the biggest part of their passing game, generally to the running back, specifically the screen passes. You're going to see Pritchett here. What you do is you just step up in there, try and hide, let those rushers go by, and then slide out. Now, that time, Spellman did come off. You see, Spellman went to the outside, but then Pritchett just cut it inside the Spellman.
Here's McNabb with a lot of time, and finally somebody breaks loose and hurries him up, and Teague comes down with the interception. Flag on the play, and way back.
And there's a flag right there about the 33-yard line, and I bet it's against the Dallas Cowboys. I bet you it's defensive holding because it's in that area. And while McNabb was scrambling, there was a flag that came out right down there.
You're exactly right.
It had to be defensive holding, and that was long before he threw the ball. That was when he was scrambling. Talking about how when you play a scrambling quarterback that you have to stay with your coverage.
Holding on the defense, number 47. 5 yards. Automatic.
McNeil.
First down.
Ryan McNeil, you'll see him down here. See, he's looking in, and now he gets a bump there, and then he just holds on. Yeah, that's just lazy there. I mean, he didn't have to do that. I mean, the receiver wasn't doing anything. He put that hand in there and then just left it there. Ryan McNeil has made a couple of bonehead mistakes.
Costly. Costly.
Yeah, and stupid things. I mean, things that shouldn't be done.
George Teague just limped out, sat down, Hurts. Here's the reverse to Charles Johnson, and there's nothing doing there. Greg Ellis, the first to arrive on the scene.
That's what they always tell the defensive end on that side. When the ball goes away, the first thing you look for is reverse. See, they're checking George Teague's right foot, taking his right shoe off. But if you're an end, and the play goes this way, you get upfield and look for something coming back that way. Now watch Ellis. The ball starts away, then he looks back and he sees it coming back this way, and he gets up the field and makes a tackle.
Good play by Greg Ellis. Yep. McNabb drops in the pocket. Now they pressure him, and now he takes off with a lot of room. McNabb inside the 25 to about the 23-yard line of Dallas. Up the middle.
Yeah, and Trey Thomas did a great job because Greg Ellis had him start, and you can't take an inside pass rush against these guys. I'm going to show you what happened. Here's Greg Ellis here. He gets here. Now watch right here. He's going to take an inside right there. See, then he gets collapsed to the inside. And then when he does that, that opens up that middle and gives Donovan McNabb a great big old lane. That's what we're talking about, where pass rushers have to stay in their lane. Greg Ellis did well against the reverse and not against that.
The pass is outside to Darnell Autry. And Autry down the sideline. Touchdown, Eagles. Autry got it into the end zone.
Cowboys don't blitz a lot. They came on the blitz on that one, and Donovan McNabb threw it to the same side. You see the blitz coming down here?
Yep.
And he threw it to his hot receiver. That was Darnell Autry. Missed tackle right there, and Autry takes it into the end zone.
To tie it up is Akers. Detmer is the holder. That's Coy Detmer. And the extra point line drive does get through. And that was close. It just barely got through. Here's the touchdown to Autry. Tied at 10 with 7:38 left. Coming up next, catch the best professional figure skaters in the world as they compete in round 2 of the Grand Slam Super Teams of Skating. Brian Boitano, Katarina Witt, Brian Orser. Nicole Bovic headline a star-studded field as the Cowboys go back to work. Passes out to Thomas, who slips away from a couple of tacklers and picks up about 5.
Now the Eagles are coming to life, and part of that life was given to him by Ryan McNeil. When you look at this penalty, 15-yard penalty, and that gave him a score. And then this one here on the scramble, where he just left that hand up there when he didn't have to, and it would have been an interception. He had a couple of blunders that really led to Eagles scores, but I'll tell you, Donovan McNabb was pretty good. He ran twice for 40 yards on that last drive, and he was 3 for 3 passing, so that was a big part of it, too.
Cunningham to Smith, and no place for Emmett to go this time.
You feel that something has changed here. We talked about how the Eagles were kind of sleepwalking, and they looked a little loggy, but they've come to life now. I mean, they've come to life both offensively and defensively, and I think this crowd is starting to come to life. The Cowboys had a chance earlier to really put them away, and they didn't get it done, and now these guys are up, and they're up and back at them.
There's the Eagle owner, Jeffrey Lurie. 3rd and 5. Cunningham in the shotgun this time. Outside intended for Wayne McGarity, incomplete, and Dallas will have to punt.
Jeremiah Trotter read that thing perfectly. They were trying to come across in motion, get the ball out there. Trotter was right there. In fact, that he was pretty close to being in a position to intercept it. And if he didn't intercept it, he was going to be in a great position to make a tackle.
Micah Noor to punt. Brian Mitchell, number 30, back deep for Philadelphia.
Always dangerous, Brian Mitchell.
A tricky wind. Mitchell lets it bounce, takes a Cowboy bounce, and is downed on about the 2-yard line by Kareem Larimore. Next week, it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader, beginning with J.B. Terry, Howie, and Chris on America's favorite pregame show. Then the Cardinals take on the NFC Central leading Vikings, plus 2 NFC powerhouses collide as the Rams battle with the Giants or other regional action. All starts at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific next Sunday. Check your local listing. The Eagles backed up at our own 3-yard line.
Izell Reese is in there now for George Teague. We saw George Teague injure that right foot and go into the locker room.
That was on the interception after the penalty.
So now they're playing with Ryan McNeil at this corner, Felipe Sparks at the other corner, who they really haven't done much to.
Right.
They still have the best player on the defense, Darren Woodson, at safety, along with Izell Reese.
Felipe Sparks was limping earlier, but seems to have taken it off.
Game 7.
Lakers are down by 5. Chase Banks.
Back at Veterans Stadium, 10-10 tie. The Eagles, the Cowboys. Pat Summerall with John Madden.
This is where you get out of trouble. It's kind of like a goal line offense. They bring in Doug Brzezinski. He'll play left guard, and John Welborn, the normal left guard, will play tight end. No, he's not eligible now, so they moved him back.
Yep.
John Welborn reports all the time. Andy Reid said he's from Cal. He's one of those Cal guys. You report 20 times.
McNabb on first down. Throws outside to Cecil Martin. Right now for another game break. Let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Pat and John, Keyshawn hooking up with Sean King. King looking for him. 2 touchdown receptions on the day, 3 catches for 47 yards. And as I mentioned, 2 of those TDs, 24-7 Bucks, 5:30 left in the 4th. Back to Pat and John.
5:30 left in the fourth at Veterans Stadium. 2nd and 6. McNabb to Autry. Not much doing.
I think some people jumped on Keyshawn Johnson a little too soon.
Maybe.
He's a player. There's no doubt about that. What Andy Reid's trying to do now is just get the ball out and get a first down. You know, that's the first thing. I mean, your first goal when you're backed up is to get it out to the 5-yard line. And that gives your punter 15 yards if you have to punt. And then the next thing is just get a first down and then get beyond the 20.
This is a big down, 3rd and 5. Stanley Pritchett behind McNabb, who throws incomplete. McNeil on Todd Pinkston. Makes the play.
They haven't been able to get that slant on McNeil. McNeil plays that very well. I mean, they're trying to get it right here. You see they get him turned a little, but McNeil is so quick, and he can get his hands in there. I mean, he plays that slant as well as anyone. I would think that they would either try another pattern on him or try the slant on someone else, because they've already proven it doesn't work this way.
McGarity back to take care of this punt. Makes the catch cleanly. McGarity out of bounds at the Eagle 45. There goes George Teague.
Well, he's down on this side of the field now. He's on the Eagle sideline.
The Best of Sunday is back, packed with a night of season premieres, starting with Futurama, The King of the Hill, and then The Simpsons. Then Malcolm in the Middle, and the long-awaited premiere of The X-Files. That's Fox season premiere Sunday, kicking off tonight at 7, 6 Central, right here on Fox. First and 10, Dallas. That's LaFleur back in motion. Back to Emmitt Smith. Emmitt ducks in the middle. Not much. Here's Randall Cunningham at the beginning of the day being introduced. And here's the reception that he got. And now we'll see how the end of the day turns out for Randall.
What did you think the beginning of the day was like? Do you think it was mixed?
I thought it was mixed.
Yeah, I did.
Very mixed.
I thought it was more plus, though, than minus. I mean, I thought there was more applause than boo.
It should be. Here he is back to throw again. Has time, incomplete. Knocked down Bobby Taylor on the defense. James McKnight, the intended target.
I think neither one of these teams have great receivers now. I mean, the Cowboys have all theirs hurt, and the Eagles never really did have any, so they're not completing a lot of passes to the receivers. But I tell you, this Eagle team and these Eagle fans still understand defense. I mean, they know 3rd down, and they're all standing up in the stadium right now.
3rd and 9. Cunningham up under center. Drops to throw, steps up. Sacked from behind by Hugh Douglas. Around the corner is Douglas. And down goes Randall.
Those aren't boos, those are Hugh. Yeah, Hugh Douglas was talking about that a couple weeks ago and saying that it's not the number of sacks you have, it's when you make the sack. And if you make them in a 4th quarter on 3rd down with a score tied, that is a big sack. And they ought to have something special in stats for those things. You know, it's not what you do or how many times you do it, but it's when you do it.
You'll make a lot.
Big one.
You'll make a lot of sacks when you have Jackie Harris blocking you. If you're Hugh Douglas. Mitchell signals fair catch. Today's game being produced by Bob Stinner and directed by Sandy Grossman. The associate director is Mike Roig.
But I like that Hugh Douglas. I mean, that he's had, you know, that sack right there was a real big sack. In fact, the Eagles sack today, they've had 2 on 3rd down, and they've had 1 on 4th down. And again, you know, when you get these things, they're sometimes as big as anything else.
1st and 10 at their own 8 for the Eagles. Here's McNabb dumping it to Cecil Martin, the fullback. Up quickly is Darren Hambrick.
He was up quickly.
Yep.
Look at him. He said he used his head and he wants to hear him boo him.
At the 10, broadcast associates are Charles McDonald and Wayne Wilson. The technical producer today is Bob Mueller. And we'll continue in a moment with the credits. McNabb. Autry. A couple.
Now we come to the big third down offense. We're talking about their third down defense when they're all standing up. They're not standing up for the third down offense.
It's a Dallas timeout. They have one left. The Eagles have two.
Look at these fans on third down offense. They don't really believe, do they? On defense, they did. I mean, they knew that that they had to have a play. Hugh Douglas gave them that play, and you don't get the feeling now that they expect that they're going to get that offensive play like they expected they were going to get the defensive one. Now, the thing that McNabb has to know here is you want to try and get a first down, but you have to have a safe play. Remember against the Redskins, it was the same situation.
Yep.
The score was tied, and it was right at the end of the game. McNabb threw an interception to Darrell Green. The Redskins took the ball. They got it down there. They kicked the field goal and won the game. So you want to get a first down. It's third down, but the thing that you can't afford here, you cannot afford a turnover.
The Eagles are 3 of 11 on third down. McNabb 14 out of 33. Most of his damage has been done running. McNabb holds and throws and complete. And the ball's knocked loose. I think that's an incomplete pass.
And because if it were a complete pass, it would be the Eagles' ball there because they did recover it. But again, you have to catch the ball, have control of the ball, come down with it with both feet.
Izell Reese hammered Torrance
Gets
Small.
the ball, 1 foot down, the other foot never gets down. So he didn't have both feet down before Izell Reese got there.
Izell knocked it loose. Wayne McGarity goes back again.
McNabb really did his part, though.
Line drive kick. Good kick. Chases McGarity, who makes a heck of a catch. And now takes off with it. McGarity and the Cowboys get it back to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll start. The search for Agent Mulder is on. Finally, the most anticipated premiere of the season. That's right, the X-Files is back. Tonight at 9, 8 Central, right here on Fox. The truth is out there, and it might be out on the field in Veterans Stadium here in just a few moments.
Well, the Cowboys only have one timeout, although they get a timeout at the 2-minute warning. But with a score tied, time isn't important right now. I mean, both teams have plenty of time. We haven't gotten down to where we have to worry about the time and those kinds of things. You can call any of your offense in this situation.
1st and 10 at their own 42, and Cunningham drops. Firing downfield. Flag on the play, and there's no question about it. Troy Vincent climbed up the back of the intended receiver.
Yeah, but he also intercepted the ball. Well, this is going to be a big turn of events here because Troy Vincent had good coverage and intercepted the ball.
James McKnight.
And they are going to call pass interference on him. Whoop. You talk about the biggest penalty. This is the biggest penalty.
This puts them right dead in field goal range. They don't have to do much else.
Well, they'll probably want to take some time off the clock.
Yeah, they will. They certainly will.
Pass interference. Defense number 23. Automatic. First down.
Just watch him here. The ball's in the air. You see he gets his arms right over McKnight before the ball gets there. That was pass interference.
Yes, it was.
See, the ball's in the air now. You see, and he just brings his arms right down over McKnight while the ball's in the air.
Did make a heck of a catch, didn't he?
Yep.
Cowboys first down. Back to Emmitt Smith. Emmitt stiff arms and down to about the 5 before he's knocked out of bounds. Barry Gardner took Emmett out of bounds.
Let's just see. Emmitt Smith is just going to take off here again. You get Thomas, you get behind that lead. Thomas really made a good block there. And then Emmitt Smith just tries to get inside and make a little cutback there.
And
Emmitt Smith gets up limping after this play, though. See, he didn't run out of bounds that time.
Nope. Got his leg caught under the tacklers. I believe it was Bobby Taylor. 23 carries, 130 yards for Emmett.
You can see right there where his leg gets caught up right there. You see his left leg as he's going out of bounds there.
2nd and 2 at the Philadelphia 4. Warren has replaced Smith. Chris Warren gets the carry. We'll get the 2-minute warning. Cedar loosening up and getting ready. During every 2-minute warning, all the officials get together and compare notes about the number of timeouts each team has remaining.
Yeah, that's a big thing. In the old days, there was only 2 guys that could call timeout, and they used to go over who would call timeout also. Now anyone can call timeout, as we see the Eagles just doing it.
Emmitt Smith for a loss. Those of you who watched the Giants overpower Cleveland 24-3, welcome to Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, where the score is 10-10. Dallas, Philadelphia. Pat Summerall with John Madden, and the Cowboys in field goal range certainly have the ball at the Eagle 9-yard line, and Tim Cedar, their kicker, is already in the game. He has made 1 of 1 today from 48 yards out. That was his career long.
That was a big play for the Eagle defense, because the Cowboys in that situation on 3rd down could have gotten a 1st down before they got a touchdown and would have controlled some more time on the clock. And the Eagles smartly, after they stopped him, took a timeout. So the Eagles are going to get the ball back and still have 1 timeout.
Right. With Micah Noor holding Tim Cedar. From 27 yards. Good hold, good kick. Cowboys recapture the lead 13-10 with 1:51 left. Back at Veterans Stadium, the Cowboys, after a 27-yard field goal by Tim Cedar, lead it 13-10 with 1:51 left. Brian Mitchell back deep for the Eagles.
Yeah,
Ever dangerous.
And that's what the Eagles now need, is a combination of a good return here and then some great play from Donovan McNabb. And he's played well this 2nd half.
Micah Noor to kick off. The Cowboys special teams among the best. Mitchell will have a chance at the 6. Still on his feet. Now he's taken down by Isaiah Reese and Darren Woodson. As good as he is in the regular defense, Darren Woodson is 2nd on the team in special team tackles.
And it always amazes you that he's even on special teams. I mean, that shows what kind of football player he is. I mean, he's a 9-year veteran, and he's the best defensive back they have, the best defensive player they have, and they play him on the special teams. But he probably plays in more plays than any player in the league.
He probably does, and plays it well.
Because he's every down on defense, and then he's on special teams.
McNabb back to throw. Pass is incomplete. A little high for Brian Mitchell.
Now, McNabb was telling us yesterday that he has to work on 2 things. One is accuracy, and then within the accuracy of getting the ball out in front of his receivers. And
that throw was neither.
And he needs some accuracy right now in these next couple of throws. And for the Cowboys, they have to stay in their lanes. I mean, some of the biggest plays that they've given up have been where they've gotten out of their pass rush lanes and letting McNabb run.
Here's McNabb again, firing to the outside high. Way over the head of everybody for Nay Brown. My fault, he said. 3rd and 10.
Well, you know, that could have been, he was throwing that away, too.
Could be.
And, you know, I mean, he was just looking over there, and Nay Brown was over there, and it was good coverage up against the sidelines, and if he tried to force that in, that one could have been intercepted. But he only has 2 more chances here.
3rd down. 3rd and 10. McNabb back in the pocket, throws. A heck of a catch by Johnson. And a flag on the play.
And that was good coverage, too.
Yeah.
Charlie Williams, the 3rd corner, was right there.
Pass interference. Defense number 25 has declined. Play results in a first down.
This is a heck of a catch.
Yeah, what they're saying is that Charlie Williams was grabbing Torrance Small before the ball got there. Thought it was pretty good. It was a, you know, we said that Donovan McNabb needed an accurate throw. He sure got one.
They got a very good catch. This one's not so good. Brian Mitchell just dropped it.
You don't see that much. I mean, Brian Mitchell is one of those guys that they put in to catch balls. I mean, he's the guy that catches the punts. He's the guy that on 3rd down you put in as a receiver, and you aren't going to see many balls go through his hands and hit him in the face.
That's the role he played with the Redskins all those years.
I mean, that's just right there. It just goes right through his hands and hits him in the face. I mean, that doesn't happen.
Just took his eyes off. 2nd and 10. McNabb back to throw it again. Stepped up into the pocket. Gets away from everybody. He'll have another first down. McNabb all the way to across the 35 to the 36.
And they're going to take their time out. Now, you know the thing about McNabb is he not only can run and he's big and strong, but he's fast.
Yes, he is.
McNabb is the fastest quarterback in all of football. I mean, he was timed in like a 4.5 40. And that's what defensive backs and running backs run. And watch, here's where he gets out of it. That's where his strength is. And here's where his speed is right here. I mean, he just outruns guys.
Got away from Greg Ellis back at the line of scrimmage.
You know, I mean, he has that tight jersey, you see, and there's nothing to grab onto there. And then he's so strong that if you just try and grab, he's going to run right out of it anyway. And then he's so fast that he just runs right away from you. So he has a whole bunch of things going, and those were the things that I said that they had to watch out for. They had to watch out for McNabb running, and he got him on a run.
58 yards and 5 carries. He's about 225.
I mean, he has all those combinations. He's big, he's strong, he's fast, and he's going to be a quarterback in this league for a long time. And now, if they had to kick a field goal right here, it would be about 53 yards.
Didn't someone tell us that Akers hit one from 64 in warm-up?
64 yards in the pregame warm-up, yes. But I don't think they feel comfortable about it right here.
I wouldn't. 1st and 10. Here's McNabb looking again. And again, he takes off and throws it away as he is taken down hard by Pepe Zellner.
All right, he got horse-collared. Here's one of his long pregame kicks right there. It was that same way, going in that same direction.
Hit the top of the upright.
Yep, but you don't want to, at the distance, you don't want to hear thump and then doink.
The dreaded thump.
Yep. On any kick, you just want to hear one thump, and you don't want to hear another bit of noise.
It's 2nd and 10. They're at the 36-yard line. McNabb drops. Dumps it out to Mitchell. Mitchell gets closer. Very close to an Eagle first down. But not enough. No timeouts left.
Now they're going no huddle.
They got to. 3rd and 1. Here's McNabb back again. Dumps it over to Mitchell. One-handed catch.
Mitchell made that catch. He made up for it right there. Now they can spike the ball. Here he can go up and spike the ball because he has a first down. He couldn't have before because it was third down, but he could then to stop the clock. Mitchell dropped one earlier, but he made up for it, and he got McNabb off the hook and making a great catch right there.
Akers closer. Look this catch.
That's that catch there. I mean, he just goes up and catches that thing with one hand.
One-handed.
So the one that was perfect pass to him goes right between his hands, hits him in the face. This one that is high, he jumps up and catches it with one hand.
Didn't need both hands. They can run one more play and then spike it again. Here's McNabb back to throw it. Lofts it outside. Intended again for Mitchell over his head.
I don't know if I was going to run one more play that would be the play. I would think you have a two-way go here if you go for the end zone. I mean, I believe the place you throw the ball is in the corner of the end zone, that second pylon. And you just have someone go there and you throw the ball right to the second pylon, and it's either caught and it's a touchdown or it's out of bounds and then you kick your field goal.
You got time.
But I don't think you should throw something short. If you're going to throw something short like that swing, you may as well just run the ball.
3rd and 10. McNabb drops again. Looking in deep and out of the end zone. Charles Johnson, the intended target. Those of you who watched Tampa Bay win its second in a row, defeating Atlanta 27-14. Welcome to Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, where it's 13-10 Dallas, but the Eagles in field goal range and their field goal team on the scene.
I like what Andy Reid did there, or Donovan McNabb. I mean, go for the touchdown. If you don't get it, then come back and do this. You have a two-way go.
From 35 yards out, this is a Dallas timeout. That's all of theirs.
Yeah,
give Akers a little chance to think about it.
Yeah, that's just those things that they do to you old kickers to freeze you.
I don't remember ever freezing. Maybe from the weather. Total yards, Dallas 279, the Eagles 293. Rushing yards, the Cowboys 196. Philadelphia 124, most of it by McNabb.
And a lot of it too in the second half. I mean, the Eagles in the first half kind of sleepwalked through the first half,
yep.
and they were dull, and the crowd was dull, and the Cowboys didn't get far enough ahead, left them in the game. And I don't know if Andy Reid gave him a talk at halftime or if someone else came out, but this team came out as a different team in the second half.
Well, look at the yards difference. 208 to 85.
The yards and the attitude was different.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't really play that hard the first half. They did play hard in the second half.
Akers. It's good. We're headed for overtime.
This one smells like overtime.
34 yards out. Akers ties it 13-13. This is a good hole right here.
It's a good job of catching the ball. It was in too close to him and bringing it back out and getting it down so that Akers could kick that one perfectly.
That was Detmer. Spun the strings away from the kicker.
Yeah, because the snap was a little inside. I mean, he had to catch it inside and then get it out there and get it down.
13-13, 11 seconds to go. Both teams out of timeouts.
Yep, and they know that they're going to go to overtime here. I mean, the Cowboys would like to get some kind of return. The Eagles aren't going to kick them a returnable ball. And obviously, they won't kick an onside kick, but you also don't kick it deep. You try and kick a line drive and make one of those guys in the wedge handle it. One of those big guys in the wedge is who you'd like to get that are down about the 20-yard line.
See if the ball will stay on the tee without a holder. Akers has it down like he'd like it.
I mean, this is where you'd like to kick it. You know, kick it to one of these guys. That's where you want to go.
He kicks it away. Tucker is chased deep into the end zone.
Well,
he'll down it.
I was going to say that's not bad either.
No.
Kick it away that far. I mean, he put the lumber to that one,
Yes, he
didn't
did. Randall Cunningham has 11 seconds to work with.
I would expect with this field position around the 20-yard line that they would just run it out and go into overtime. You don't have an 80-yard play in 11 seconds unless you just throw that Hail Mary, but it's too far away to throw that.
Even for Randall.
Yeah, even for anyone. So even for the Jugs machine. So I think you would just run it out and then go play overtime. In fact, they're getting in the
That's what they
formation.
had in mind.
They're getting in the kneel-down formation.
1st and 10 at the 20. 11 seconds left, and they'll just run it out, and we'll go to overtime. 13-13 tie. Dave Campo obviously disappointed, but still has work to do. The first overtime game in 83 meetings between these two.
This is something they'll have a coin flip now, and they always say that it's not fair. The team that loses a coin flip, if the other team scores, doesn't get the ball. But that's football. I think that is fair, and I think if you look at the statistics,
it's about 50-50.
It's about 50-50.
Yep.
Here it is right here.
Well,
team winning coin tosses won 86% of the game.
That's not 50-50.
Yeah, but that's this year. That's just talking about this year, right? The home team is 4-3.
Well, let's listen to what goes on. Aaron Woodson out.
Mike Carey, the referee.
To break the tie, there will be one sudden death overtime period. Both teams will have 2 timeouts, and fourth quarter rules will prevail. This is heads. This is tails. What's your call? Heads you call. Tails. Which goal?
The Eagles win the toss.
Philadelphia has won the toss. They'll receive.
.86% of the games have been won by the team winning the coin toss this year. Back in overtime at Veterans Stadium. The all-time overtime fact. The team winning the coin toss has won 54% of the game. The home team 146 to 133, 15 have ended in ties.
Yeah, of course, they still can end in a tie because it's only one quarter. They only play 15 more minutes. Each team will get 2 timeouts.
Dave Brown and Brian Mitchell back deep. Mike Honore to kick it off. Lines it left. Mitchell takes it. Brian Mitchell gets it back to the 35. This was a few years ago.
Over the years, this series has really produced some great finishes. You just look at them and you remember them, and you look at the players are different, the coaches are different, but the teams and the results and the way they end, it just seems to be about the same.